Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for season 15, episode 13, titled Teacher Makeovers. My name is Joe Betance, and I am joined, as always, by one healthy co-host, one not so healthy co-host. First from the podcast, bravo, effing bravo. Please say,
reveal yourself
to Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan. How are you?
G'day, Joe. How you going, mate?
G'day, matey. Do you guys say matey? Does anybody ever say matey?
Sometimes, if you want to be condescending.
Oh, really? That's like that's a condescending. If you're gonna fight with a guy at the bar, with a Boken at the bar, you're gonna like, oh, that's right, matey.
There's a saying that in Australia you call your mates cunts and your cunts mates.
Oh. I've always wondered why there's never like great quotes from Australians. Now we know the answer because that's the kind of quotes they're giving you. And from the podcast pod is my co-pilot. Please say,
shady, hairy, and a thief.
3 for 3.
To the very sick Taylor the Latte Boy. Hello, Taylor. How are you?
Hey, everybody. How are you? Not the quote that I was thinking.
I know. I gasped because I forgot to write a part of the script.
You gagged yourself, for sure.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought for sure that I knew what the quote was going to be. That one's pretty good, too. I thought it was going to be, I offered him $500 to shave his eyebrows.
Oh, no, it wasn't. The closest it was there was a part where Mistress said, I'm hungry, I want to eat, or something like that. And that was going to be it, but I like the other one better.
Yeah.
And now we're going to jump right into the part I didn't write, because you write it at the end, the part where I'm like, this week, and I wrote the script and everything. I'm like, oh, I didn't write it. So I'm going to try, let's see if I can wing it. Okay. All right. This week, the Queen spilled the tea, and for this week's Maxi Challenge, they're making over some fierce education professionals. Anitra is named the winner of the challenge, while Lux Noir London and Lucy Laduka are placed in the bottom two after a lip-sync battle for their lives. Lux is told, Shantae, you stay, while Lucy Laduka is asked... No, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that because I'm doing the fly. While Lucy Laduka is told by... No, wait. Okay, here we go. While Lucy Laduka is let loose by RuPaul.
You got that.
Ladies, name 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not. Let's start with our very own Taylor the Latte Boy. He used to be on this show in Nathan's chair, then I fired him.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happened. And I came on to intimidate Nathan. I came on to make sure that he's shaking in his boots.
Okay, with Nathan here, let's settle this. Taylor.
There's nothing to settle.
Multiple times we've talked about this. What did you tell me before? I remember I invited you on for like Meet the Queens or season premiere, and what did you say to me?
I said, because it was Nathan's first time on as the second chair, that it didn't seem fair to have me on as well. That is what I said.
Why?
Because it's his moment. This is his moment. this should have been
have
it. So that I did not want to take away from that from him, because also I just listened to an episode of, I forgot I was on Throwing Down twice last year, and I'm going back and listening to old shows.
Yeah. Throwing Down to the show we have on Patreon, and it's available to our Patreon supporters. Yeah. Go ahead.
And at one point on one of the episodes, it was the first time that Nathan and I met, because he signed in for a few minutes. And he said, are you sure you don't want to come back for 15? He was worried that I was going to change my mind. And I didn't want him to think that if you suddenly say, by the way, Taylor's going to be on the first show, that he's going to go, oh, God, it's all being taken away from me. So I didn't want to do that to him. And I have thoroughly enjoyed listening to Nathan this season.
Nathan, do you want to respond to this?
Thanks, Taylor. That was very nice of you, and I'm just glad it didn't turn into a whole big thing, and no one took it further than it needed to go. And bringing it up
nobody
14 weeks
embellished.
later.
Yeah, nobody over-dramatized.
All I need is a skinny 20-year-old black girl to be next to me, and boy, is this season 15. If I just moved over and a skinny 20-year-old fashion queen just sat next to me and we could just be mean, tag team being mean to you guys. Ugh, what a show that would be. Well, let's actually jump right into it. After Selena's elimination, Selena leaves a shady message.
You didn't get to ask us what the two things we like and one thing we did not.
I already answered for you. I already said Taylor, his favorite thing was, he's all like, let me tell you my favorite thing. First of all, if Lucy Laduka was on, I turned to my husband and I said, if Lucy Laduka comes on another episode, we're getting divorced. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty harsh. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Taylor, go ahead. What are the two things you liked about the episode and the one thing you did?
I loved the mini challenge. I think that they should do something like that every season. That should be, if they do like the reading challenge like they do every year, that this could be something that could also be fun. I know last year, I think was last year the Wheel of Fortune? No, that was during All Stars Winners, where they had to do play the Wheel of Fortune game, and they had another one where they had to do Drag Race trivia. I think that should just be one of the things that they do every year. So that's one thing that I liked. Other thing that I liked was I liked all the makeovers. I thought all 4 of the 5 makeovers were great, I thought, and they did a really, really good job. The thing that I don't like is I really did not like Lux this episode. I just
like her personality or just
her personality. There was I've never been a huge Lux fan, but there was something about her. I guess anytime that they have these makeover episodes and there isn't that connection or they seem disappointed with who they got, I only think my mind goes to what was it like for that teacher to watch this episode tonight and hear her say things like, oh, she's trying to sabotage me with this one. That's not a very nice thing to say. It's one thing if she's saying it about Lucy because Lucy signed up for all of this, but to say it about, a layperson coming in, I didn't think that was necessarily nice.
All right. Nathan Patrick Brown?
I agree with Taylor. I loved the mini challenge. I thought that was really fun. I would like to see it recur. I also thought the teachers were really cute. At first, I was like, oh, teachers. But then, as we got to know them, I was like, okay,
they
they're
have
quite
no
endearing.
Class. Am I right, ladies?
Yeah. And the one thing I did not was Rue's outfit this week. I thought was hideous. Usually Rue looks so good, but this one I was like, oh, I wish the season 1
like
filter was
cartoon
back.
bacon.
It was gross. It was like a clueless
Do you think she was
thing?
trying to be sort of like Clueless? That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like it was a play on Cher's outfit from Clueless.
And how many times has that been done?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to take up more time. I'm in complete agreement with you with the two things that you guys like. The one thing that I'm different on is the thing I didn't like. I am as much as Lucy Laduka drove me up the fucking wall and I wanted to fucking you fucking whore. What are you doing here? Right? I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss the delusion. I'm going to miss it all. But this is something that happens. I mean, like, you saw this when season 6, when they tried to paint Ben as a villain. She went home in this position. You saw it in other seasons. I can't think of anything. I don't know seasons, right? But the next couple episodes are going to be a lot more boring. Sorry. Like, who are Mistress and Lux going to pick on?
Nobody.
Anitra?
There really isn't
Nobody.
anybody. No,
There
they're
really
not going to
isn't
go after
anybody.
Anitra.
It's going to be a love fest. It's going to be awful. All right. After Selena's elimination, Selena leaves a shady message on the mirror for the girls. Lucy brings it back to herself. The girls revisit the moment on the main stage when they had to name names. Nathan, let's start with you. Any big thoughts on this cold open, like the message that Selena left, Lucy's reaction to that message, the conversation at the couch later? Any thoughts here?
Well, I sort of loved that mirror message. I loved that it was a bit shady, saying she got what she deserved. I thought that was fun. And I loved Lux doubling down on what she said about Lucy on the main stage. And when Lucy said, oh, Lux seemed to enjoy my drag when I helped her in the comedy challenge, it's like, well, she was your teammate. She's not going to actively root against you when you're on a team together, dickhead. So, That's all my thoughts on that bit.
And I have that as a note here because also Lux was shady towards Lucy's drag before the comp. It wasn't like Lux had these episodes where she was nice to Lucy, and then because that was the plot line of that episode was that these two queens who don't really get along were put together.
Yeah,
so
right.
it was just the blip was Lux getting along with Lucy, and she was playing nice because they were teammates. Taylor, what about you? Any thoughts?
I guess the thing that when Lucy was talking about her experience up there, and they all seemed very like, well, here we go again, when before she wiped off the mirror message, they all do that. They all talk about how hard it is to be up there in lip sync and just how scary it is. And so for them to edit, I get that Lucy has gotten this edit of where she's this delusional person. And I'm not saying she's not delusional, but it just didn't seem fair when, I remember, other times in which girls have had to send another girl home and they turn around and go, I didn't realize how hard that was going to be to do that and how scary that was and all of those sort of things. We got another I'm in my this era, which has stopped trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. And that was annoying. But the Lux thing, the Lux and Lucy thing, I thought could have gone south real fast. And the fact that they both just sort of were congenial to each other almost made it where you were kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Going with the era thing, I was talking about it with somebody this week, which is it doesn't bother me that much. I see what you're saying, know where you're coming from, but I'm almost wondering if it's one of those things where we are seeing something that was probably really only a few days of jokes in their head, but because it's stretched out over weeks, it seems like, oh God, they're being this joke to death. But for them, it was probably a shorter life than this let loose joke that's going around the internet. But it's stretched out for us over multiple episodes.
And that will be when they have the finale, that when Mistress comes out on the stage, that'll be when Michelle does she's in her top 4 era. It's Mistress Isabel it'll be just one of those
that'll
where you roll
happen.
your eyes one more time.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Nathan, any other thoughts on this cold open or anything?
No.
I was going to say, I disagree with Taylor again because I was annoyed that Lucy kept bringing it back to herself. Cause first of all, I thought it was rich, and she was like, "I know how Selena feels. Two of you guys named me, and it didn't feel good." I'm like, but Selena's talking about her. Selena is talking about her. When I was in my 20s, I lived with these 2 girls, right? And I wouldn't call them drug addicts, but they like to party, right? They like to party. And one day I was asleep, and in the middle of the night, I shared a room with one of the girls. And the girl that didn't share a room with me was carrying over her shoulder the one who shared a room with me, who's now dead weight. She's, zeroed out on GHB.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and this little girl's trying to carry this other girl, and she's dragging her. Before I'm trying to find out what's
shut
going
up.
on. Yeah, to come. Maybe I would help them, but I was like, "What's going on?" But before I can, the little girl who's carrying the G'd out girl loses her grip on her, and the girl, she's dead weight. She's out, right? Falls, bangs her head into the wall, and blood starts coming down her face from her eyebrow.
Oh,
right?
my God.
And the other girl looks to me and says, "Look what she did." And this is what it felt like.
Did you just go back to bed, by the way? What? How does that end?
Yeah, I put her in bed. I helped put her in bed, and I was just like, this motherfucking place. Right? So, it's the same thing here. It's Selena is talking about Lucy, and Lucy's like, wow, we're all watching Taylor right now, give birth.
Shut up.
Okay,
Keep
Taylor?
talking. Yeah, I'm fine.
He gets really mad when I make fun of Lucy. Sorry, everybody.
Yes, that's it. I'm crestfallen.
Always defending the white twink.
Yeah, always. Well, now I know what
Lucy.
I am dying to see how
left.
Reddit explodes. One of the things I didn't mention last week, and I want to mention it here, I held my tongue, but now what I saw on Reddit this past week, I'm not going to hold my tongue, is, look, and I want to say, I don't think it's most of the fandom. That's the problem with Reddit, is the Reddit gives a voice to very loud minority, right? Not minorities,
Right.
like we know, not POC, just like a small section of people, and they scream and yell, and it makes it seem like there's a lot of them, okay?
Right.
But on Reddit this week, there were a lot of people, there's a lot of chatter, if you will, about Mistress and Lux are bullies, and yada, 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 ba. And I was like, where were these bitches 2 weeks ago? This didn't start, this conversation did not start until Marsha was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only one white girl left in the competition, and now all of a sudden, we're bullying Lucy, and she's amazing, and she's great. And this episode, she said some cracked out, crazy ass, caucasity shit. You know? And so, like, it's like literally, and by the way, this did not pass me, editors. This did not pass me. At the end, she's talking about how angry she is, that she shouldn't have gone home, blah, 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 blah. And as she's talking, they're showing her write a mirror message that is completely opposite of what she is saying.
Right.
And that's not by accident. They're showing that this fucking bitch, you know, the miss, are you saying I'm not being real right now? Yeah, you're not real. So I don't know. It can't be because of race. I don't get it. Taylor and Nathan, defend all white people right now. Please, go.
You can take that one, Taylor.
No, I cannot. That's completely. That's fine. I'm third chair now. Welcome to the Thunderdome. You can do it. You're second chair. Defend all white people.
I can't.
Yeah, defend all white people, Nathan.
I can't. Well, I can't defend this Lucy because I feel like if anyone's bullied Lucy, it's me. It's me and you, Joe. We've been at the forefront of the anti-Lucy brigade, and that moment where she did that mirror message. She had a longer soundbite than any of these queens because she just kept talking.
Oh,
and it was so funny how she just would not shut the fuck up about how wronged she is. And I think, maybe the editors are leaning into it.
Absolutely. She's giving them exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm. People don't know this.
Oh, God.
Taylor strangely wrote a book a few years ago called Abuse, Let Lucy Abuse by Taylor the Latte Boy, DDS. And so he's particularly suited for this. Taylor, as a mental health professional, I know you're not her therapist, and I know you're not diagnosing Lucy here, but have you seen people who have similar sort of delusions, if you will? And what would you say about that type of person that isn't Lucy?
Well, okay, and again, I'm not Lucy's therapist, but there is definitely some, people think that, and again, I am not diagnosing her with this, but people tend to think that there is, when you have narcissistic personality disorder, that it is... it is only like I love myself and everything is great, all that kind of stuff. There actually is a form of narcissistic personality disorder is when we feel really inferior. We are constantly trying to talk ourselves up. And I feel like I have clients that are like this in which they talk about how amazing they are. And I'm looking at them going with 2 or 3 sentences right now, I could have you wither. I'm not going to do that because I don't punch down on my clients, but there is where you have to kind of get them to be. Don't cock your head like that, Nathan.
I was like, wouldn't it be fun too, like every once in a while, though?
Oh, in my fantasies, yes, absolutely. Yeah. There are times that I just, and there are times that I have told a client about themselves, but I do it in a way that is very professional, and in a way that is productive. So I did that actually with a client like this a couple weeks ago, in which I'm not going to get into details, but we had a conversation where I went, can I share my observations about the last 35 minutes? And then just bleh, just like vomited all over this guy. And I think Lucy is similar in which she is overcompensating for maybe, she's talked about being made fun of in high school because of her voice. She's been, that she wasn't appreciated, for her talent and stuff like that. And that's got to fuck with your head to some degree. And I think that may be part of where she is.
All right, very good. Let's actually move on.
If I can say one more thing, though. We have talked about in previous seasons my feelings on bullying with different, the example was always that I gave before was Roxy and Jinx in season 5. I don't look at what Lux and Mistress have done with Lucy this season as bullying. Because particularly Mistress is this is, from my understanding, and the way that it has been described, not only by Mistress, but by other, podcasts and things that I've read online and that sort of stuff, this is that in the back room between songs, everybody kikiing and just kind of throwing shade at one another. And I don't think that, because, she definitely did that with other queens earlier in the season. She did that with Sugar and Spice to some degree, but she also was very... she was very motherly to them. And I think that Lucy just doesn't get that because it plays into her inferiority, her feelings of inferiority.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on here. The next day, Mistress promises to make it to the top 4 and to win the day's challenge. The mini challenge. We have a mini challenge this week. It's called Spill the Tea. The queens need to spill the tea on each other to get the most points and win the challenge. Lucy wins the challenge and an advantage in the max. There's a lot of word challenge here. And an advantage in the Maxi Challenge. This week, it's a makeover challenge. For this season's makeover, the queens need to make over some worthy educators and make them part of their drag families. As the winner of the mini challenge, Lucy chooses her own teacher and also assigns her competitors to the other educators. When Lucy assigns the one black girl to Sasha, Lux speculates that it was an intentional strategy on Lucy's part. Taylor the Latte Boy, why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts on everything that happened with the mini challenge and the assigning of the teams and all of that?
I love the mini challenge. I thought it was something that took some thought. And, Lucy showed it took some strategy, too. The fact that she lifted her own name because she said, I know you all are going to vote for me, so this way pushes me ahead of everybody else.
Yes.
And I would love to see, as I said earlier, I would love to see something every season in which there is a game like this that they do. And I absolutely believe that Lucy tried to sabotage Lux by giving the one black teacher to Sasha and the lady that looked nothing like Lux to Lux.
Well, we now know that it was confirmed and tucked. Lucy fessed up and said,
"Oh, she did."
Yes, that is exactly. Led to a small argument where Lucy said, where Lux asked her, and Lucy said, "Well, you're doing so well in the competition. I didn't want to give you an advantage." And then Lux pointed out, "Well, actually, Sasha is the one, ahead. So I don't know why you're doing it to me because Sasha's the one who's actually leading." And then that's when Lucy said, "Well, Sasha never said that I have, a non-unique drag or whatever." And so,
and I can respect that if she owns up to it and was owned up to it more and was like, I wanted to throw you under the bus. I'd be like, okay, work.
Yeah. It did lead to her own demise, but I think, and we spoke on this. The looks were great across the board, even Lucy's. No, not across the board. Lux had some problems, but they were nitpicking on Lucy more than they were on the other ones. They were talking about how, I don't know, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Because that's because it was decided before they even got out there that it was Lucy's week, so they had to come up with something.
Yes.
Very similar to last week's with Wig Loose. Everybody did amazing, so they just kind of had to come up with something for those two people.
Which is more speaks to the whole thing with track records and all, that doesn't matter. Who they want to go home is going to go home. Track record, schmack record. It doesn't matter. Nathan, you want to say anything?
Yeah, so this Norvina, she's never really bothered me before, but now she's giving me that absolute vodka guy vibes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Jeffrey Moran?
Yes. I don't know why she needs to pop in every season. Like, the way she delivered those catchphrases with no emotion. She was like, Rue, I have one thing to say. bam. And I was like, bitch, could you have had a Red Bull before coming on set? Like, why are you so sleepy? And she goes, sickening, no? And I'm like, you're not even doing it right, Dal. So she can go.
So I'm sure that's in the contract that she gets to come one time season.
It's better than her mom. Now, sometimes you go to Disneyland. I don't know how to do with Disney World. And they'll have a Tinkerbell. And you're like, when you get close to that Tinkerbell, you're like, oh, she's rough. She must be like the C-Team Tinkerbell, right?
You sound like Ross Matthews right now. It's like, you know that thing when you're at Disneyland? And you say,
Tinkerbell. When you go to Disneyland and you go to the Tinkerbell, that's you. Okay. When you look like a busted Tinkerbell, and it kind of makes you sad, that's you, right? You kind of look at the Tinkerbell, you look like she's had maybe a rough time over at Coconut in Palm Springs.
Anyway, but that is Norvina, where I'm all like, you're like, oh, she's going for like a young Gaga thing going on. I don't know what she's doing. I'm talking about voice. But you're like, when you examine it a little bit, you're like, ooh, what is going on here? Nathan calls her Novina.
I wonder how. I'll look up and see how old she is.
Okay, you're looking at you think you think Norvina is so big that her name is her age is in Google? We're gonna find out right now.
I don't
she
know.
might have IMDb from these credits.
Yeah.
She is 35 years old.
Oh,
she can be president.
Wow, she can be president. Oh, we said at the same time, Nathan. We have such a good chemistry, Nathan. Like I think we almost like belong together. We're such a good team. Hi, Taylor.
One more thing. What about how Lucy, she picks this person who already looks like her, and then she goes, oh my God, I'm so glad I got you. I was like, bitch, you picked. What do you mean you're so glad you ended up with the one that looks like you?
That's a dog whistle. That is a fucking dog whistle. She's also the only white one, right? Which, look, again, be honest. Saying, listen, I have makeup for my skin tone. This is going to be perfect. I know how to do this skin tone. Great. I'm glad I picked you, but not like, I saw you and we are the same, energy. Yeah, energy schmenergy.
Oh, yeah. She's big with the energy to just, like as a buzzword to cover up what she's really trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. All right, any other thoughts on this mini challenge, maxi challenge, all that shit, all that for the day? Any other thoughts, Nathan?
I thought for the most part she did a very fair job of assigning the other teachers to the other contestants.
Yeah, she really did. The one tricky thing is I probably would have switched Sasha and Lux. Other than that, it's like, yeah. All right. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we are going to talk about the rest of the episode. We are back. During the break, Taylor quit and rejoined about 4 times. Mostly because he was really intimidated by Nathan. In the workroom, Anitra makes an ethnic bond with Ms. Mahoney. Lucy compares bra sizes with Mrs. Wallace. Mistress listens to Ms. Tang share her experience as a queer Latina art teacher. Sasha cheers on Mrs. Marchbanks, shares her love of Miss Marchbanks' love of Drag Race. And Lux struggles to find a connection with Ms. Reyes. Later, Mistress and Lucy have their partners. Later, Mistress and Lucy have their partners battle it out on the catwalk with Lucy's partner winning Anitra's choice. Let's go with you, Nathan. Nathan, any big thoughts here?
I loved that Mistress got her teacher to challenge Lucy's to a walk-off, and I just thought that was a fun little bit. But already, Miss Thing's heels were too high for there to be a family resemblance with Mistress anyway. So I don't know who she was kidding. And when she said, we're doing gowns to cover up the kitten heels, I was like, Mistress, you always preempt my critique. She's quick, and she knows what she's doing. And I love her just commitment to a kitten heel.
All right, Taylor the Latte Boy.
It feels like every time we have one of these makeover challenges, there's always at least one makeover girl that's very much of the, I don't know if I'm comfortable in that, and I don't want to show too much skin, or I don't know if I can be able to walk. And the fact that all 5 of them said, I'm down for whatever. Whatever you want to do, let's do it, and let's go big, was wonderful. It was very refreshing that we didn't get that old trope of one of them. While Lux struggled with her teacher, it wasn't because the teacher wasn't down for whatever.
Yeah, they were all ready to let loose.
Yes, they did. They were. They were definitely ready to okay.
On the on the Lux thing that you just brought up, Taylor, like, did you think it was funny how everyone else was getting to know their teacher and Lux seemingly didn't care? And it wasn't until she was doing her makeup, she was like, "Oh, you've got queer kids?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bitch, if you asked her a single question yesterday, you would have known that by now."
Yeah. So if you had taken the time to bond with your teacher, then maybe you wouldn't have ended up in the bottom, because you would have gotten to know her better. And it felt very like, well, you're getting this in under the wire.
Yeah. I have all these points, but you guys made all my points. Where it looks we're all in sync.
Have we talked about table visits yet?
For this week's table visits, Mama Ru has earned her parent-teacher conferences. Wait, I'm sorry here. Let's do this again. For this week's table visits, Mama Ru has her parent-teacher conferences with the girls and their teachers. We learn all their drag names and what kind of outfits they're all going to wear. Meanwhile, Lucy claims that she didn't even give a shit when the other girls named her as the queen that should go home. Later on the main stage, the queens teach their partners how to lip sync. It's elimination day. Now, they go on the lane to learn how to lip sync. By the way, it's elimination day, and the queens beat their teachers' faces for the runway. Anitra gives her teacher a resting bitch face. Lux learns her teacher left the Catholic Church because of their position on homosexuality. The queens and their teachers dish the dirt on drag lingua. The queens and their teachers dish the dirt on their... Why can't I talk? The queens and their teachers dish the dirt on drag lingo. Meanwhile, Mistress reveals her teacher's mug. Taylor, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the table visits, on the main stage lip sync coaching, on the elimination day. Give it all to us right now.
This episode, the Makeover Challenge, is one that I just always kind of like this episode, but particularly because how cordial and friendly, authentic or not, Ru is with the guests, in which she definitely seems to want to get to know them and laughs at their jokes and is very cordial and very friendly. So that is always nice to watch. And other than the fact of where she told Lucy's partner, well, 2 people said that you shouldn't be here this week, and you saw her teacher go like, oh no, which kind of looked like, oh shit,
I got the dud.
Yeah, I got the dud. And we'll see that also later during the judges' critiques. I loved the fact that Sasha's teacher said that one of her favorite queens is Laomi from the ball house scene, and just how that completely blew Sasha's mind. That it wasn't the typical I like Trixie Mattel or I like Bianca Del Rio. It was somebody that's never been on Drag Race, and from what I understand, would never be on Drag Race. So the fact that she said that was actually pretty cool.
Nathan?
I loved Miss Reyes dancing on the main stage. I thought Spice had more rhythm. Like, it's just so endearing to see these people like as a fish out of water. It was great.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know why I'm talking about Mistress so much, but she gives good TV. There was in that table visit with Ru, I feel like she was just like giving her teacher lines to say, because when Ru's like, "What has Mistress taught you?" and she goes, "To live authentically," and I'm like, "You're an out queer woman," and it took Mistress Isabel Brooks to convince you to live authentically from a 20-minute chat. Like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
An out queer woman art history teacher in a multicolored blouse on national TV. But,
right.
Mistress taught her how to live authentically. Here was something that was shocking to me, and I know at the risk of sounding, I wouldn't say misogynistic, I don't know, as just more short-sighted, I think is a better way of saying this. There are women who don't know how to wear heels? And I'm not saying that because women should wear heels, but I'm just saying I just feel from a young age women are trained to wear high heels, just because it's expected socially, culturally in this country that women wear high heels. But they were like, are you comfortable wearing high heels? And I was like, but I don't know that much. Taylor, you're a woman. What tell me about this.
I think, well, having been in multiple schools for previous positions that I've had for work, most teachers do not wear heels during the day. They're usually in sneakers, or they're in flats, or they're in something like that. So you get, well, I'm sure that those teachers have worn heels in the past. When your foot gets used to wearing a flat shoe, to suddenly then go to a heel, and not only a heel but a drag queen heel. I mean, some of those heels were like stripper heels. I can see where some of them would be a little uneasy.
Now, Taylor, I usually go to you as an expert on these things, and I really respect your opinion, but I'm going to have to disagree with you, because I saw the music video for the Van Halen song Hot for Teacher, and she was definitely wearing very high heels.
That is one of my favorite videos from the 80s.
Is it really?
Yes, I love that song too. That is definitely I love everything about that. So
that's actually a surprising fact. That is actually a surprising fact for me about Taylor.
That is
liking that song and the video.
Yes, I love the video and I love the song, and that was the last song on Guitar Hero. So that was like the final boss kind of thing. So, and I remember I was off one day and I sat and I played that song for like hours until I got it 100% right.
Oh, wow. Look at her. Guitar Hero, Taylor the Latte Boy. Did you ever do that thing when you were playing Guitar Hero? Okay, I got super into Guitar Hero. And where sometimes I go to sleep at night and the muscle memory of my fingers, I would be going like this, with my fingers.
No, not so much that, but when I hear certain songs now, in my head, I picture yellow, yellow, red, yellow, yellow, red, yellow, yellow, red, green, yellow. Like where I can see the buttons coming down at me on the screen. So Band on the Run is a song that I definitely see that.
Nathan, can you relate to any of this at all? Were you a big Guitar Hero fan?
No, I never really played Guitar Hero, but sometimes, like, if I'm playing, like, the Switch or something, and, like, I'm watching a rerun of The Nanny or something, and then if I also watch that rerun of The Nanny, like, 2 years later, I think of the game. I don't know, there's something in sense memory there.
Okay.
So that didn't make sense, did it?
I think you just said words. Like,
No, I get what
you're
he's saying.
understanding this, Taylor?
Yes.
Can you explain
So
it
not using The Nanny. Okay, so when Golden Girls used to be on Saturday nights. And when I was a kid, occasionally I would spend the night at my grandmother's, and my grandmother always had orange soda and like vanilla ice cream so that I can make like orange soda floats. So occasionally when I am watching Golden Girls, I almost get like the taste of like a creamsicle in my mouth.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Or
You
a
just said
cinnamon
you went
raisin
to
English
sleep
muffin.
playing guitar. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing the guitar. My muscles would just move because I've been doing that so often.
Very good.
Well, and our muscles were moving too. His brain muscle and my tongue muscle.
I'm sure I have some sort of similar thing. Oh, no, I do actually. Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
I
no.
do. This morning, I went to McDonald's, right? And I was thinking to myself, like, what is it with my love of McDonald's? No, that wasn't this morning. It was yesterday afternoon. And there's important why I say yesterday afternoon. And I go, why do I have this love of McDonald's? What is it about McDonald's specifically? And there was a minivan in front of me and some kids jumping around in the back, and the mom took an ice cream, handed it back, took a sundae, handed it back, and then took a bag of McDonald's and handed it back. And it was almost like Proust with the Madeleine. All these memories came rushing back to me, and I was like, oh, McDonald's was like a reward that my parents would give me and my brother when we were good. And that reminds me of being a good boy. I got to have McDonald's, and that's the association. That's the association I have with McDonald's. I was a good boy. I deserve this prize.
Like the food critic in Ratatouille when he eats and he has that flashback.
Yes.
That's you with Macca's. Wow.
The other thing I want to talk about was again, I want to, look, I'm willing to see a side on people who defend a drag queen. I may not agree with them, but I'm willing to hear them out. Okay? We call balls and strikes on this, Jumbie. For that reason, I still don't understand these queens who are like, Lucy's amazing, she's a wonderful person, yada, yada, yada. They're making this up. It's all lies. When on the show, in front of us, as if we didn't see this, Lucy okay, this has come up a couple of times this season, where the queens inform RuPaul or tell RuPaul as if she doesn't know what's going on in the workroom.
Right.
And this is another one where Lucy acts like RuPaul doesn't know exactly what's going on in the workroom, and she says, when she asks how she felt about her name being said, as if RuPaul has no idea that it bugged the living shit out of Lucy. We saw it on Untucked. We saw it in the confessionals. She won't stop talking about it. The next day she's talking about it. And she's like, it didn't bother me at all. And I'm like,
yeah.
Do you realize she has producers who are telling you what you're saying in the confessionals? Do you realize that she knows everything that's going on in the set the entire time? And so it's again, so either she's lying or she's delusional. I actually think, in a strange way, it's both with her. I don't think the left side knows what the right side is doing. It's almost multiple personalities. Thank you.
One thing that I say to new clients when I meet them during their intake is
Bring me a bag of Snickers every week.
Donuts.
Okay.
Munchkins. Dunkin' Donuts Munchkins. But I will say something along the lines of, I want you to feel comfortable to talk about any of the things that you want to talk about in here. Mm-hmm. That being said, I have a really good bullshit detector. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm not saying that, like, I don't want you to lie to me. I said, if you feel like you want to bullshit me, this is your time. You just do whatever. But I will call you out if you're bullshitting yourself. If I think you're bullshitting yourself. I said, because we all get really good at doing that to ourselves sometimes. And this may be an example of this with Lucy, in which she's not thinking back to things that she said, things that she did, things that will eventually show up on air. But if she just kind of says the things of, oh, no, it's fine, everything's fine, I completely just, water off a duck's back sort of thing. I think that there may be some delusions, Lucy delusions.
Have you said everything you want to say, Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, this is really annoying. Taylor said earlier, I tell my clients I have a really good bullshit detector. He didn't say, I'm the one that gave it to him. For Christmas one year, I found one on eBay, and I had it sent to him. Mm-hmm. Doesn't even give me the credit. All right, well, see where I stand. All right, we don't really talk about the looks on this show, but since it's an integral part of the show, I'll let you guys have the floor for a little bit. We have the looks. The category was Drag Family Resemblance. Now, we talk about these in depth on a show we have called Bring It to the Runway, but we can cover if there's any relevant looks you want to talk about. Let's start with you, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought Sasha could have won this. I thought she looked amazing, great family resemblance, good padding. She was the standout for me. With Anitra winning, like, I can see it, but it's also sort of the same look she's been doing the whole season. Like, I feel like she just recycled this outfit from a couple of weeks ago. And Asia Azul, the poor thing, she did look like Jennifer Coolidge. I mean, I couldn't unsee that. And, yeah, Lucy was fine. Mistress, I thought she did a good job with the family resemblance, but that boa shrug thing on her teacher just, like, swallowed her up because it was the same colour fabric.
Yes.
So I thought that was a bit of a stumble. But, yeah, I don't know. What did you think, Taylor?
If they had mixed the boas to where that the teacher had the light blue boa and Mistress had the black boa, that would have actually also brought them together.
That would have been good.
I too was surprised that Sasha didn't win. I really thought that was the best, and her teacher seemed to be having the most fun out of everybody up there. Where she's a teacher, but she's like, oh, I never had these before, and is like touching her boobs and all that kind of thing. So I really thought she looked the most like there was the strongest family resemblance and that she was having the most fun out there.
By the way, I want to call something out that I saw this week on the Discord. Patreon, we have a Discord channel. And Christian went away for a business trip. Okay, and I guess wherever he went, he ran into but he went to a show where Nietzsche was there, right? Mm-hmm. So I wake up in the morning, and I read the news, I look at this, Wordle, this, blah, 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 and one of the things I do is I go to the Discord in the morning. And I'm scrolling through, and there's this post from Christian on Discord, Christian from Bring It to the Runaway, and he's like, look who I saw. And it's a video of Anitra. I'm like, oh, that's really cool that he took this video and posted it on Discord. And then he's like, he writes on there, I'm going to go up to right now and invite her to be a guest on the pod. And I was like, what podcast? Not my podcast. You know, I was like, what is this thing now where he's inviting guests? I don't want guests on the podcast.
I don't think he actually meant it.
Once. Oh, Nathan, I know this queen like nobody's business.
Yes.
So do you think he went up to her?
100% think he... Right? Anyway, all right. On the main stage, the teachers lip sync for their lives. Later in each... Oh, but I never finished my rant. This show is not meant for drag queens, okay? This show is meant for the people. That's why... Because here's the deal. Here's the problem. I was just telling someone the other day. I've interviewed a bunch of these drag queens. And the one I've interviewed the most, and is a lovely person, is this Eureka O'Hara. Maybe 5-6 times I've interviewed her. Amazing. And now, ever since she's been on the show, I find it hard to say horrible, stupid shit about her because she's so nice. I don't want to get to know these people. I don't want to know them. They have nothing to say. They're going to say nothing. They're going to play diplomatically because they want to go on All Stars. They want to keep doing shows. I do not want Anitra on this show. I'm making it official. I don't want her on the show. I don't want Mistress on this show. I don't want Lux on this show. I don't want anybody on this show. I do this show so that I can make fun of this Lucy Laduka. I don't want her on the show.
I might be in my delusional era, but I think Bob the Drag Queen listens to this show. Because I listen to the Bob recaps, and sometimes Bob will say the exact same thing that we've said, and I'm like, Bob, do you listen? Or it's not that uncommon to have the same thoughts when you watch a show.
True. The only thing I don't know about that, and the person who's going to talk about right now while listening could answer me. There is a big listener of the show who knows Bob really well. And Bob is actually, I don't play him that much, but Bob actually recorded like IDs for us. Like, you're listening to Afterthought.media, or you're listening to Afterthought Media, blah, blah. I have them, I've just never played them. So maybe this guy told Bob about them. I don't know. He'll write in. He's a big listener of the show. Big friend with Bob. Known Bob since college. They went to college together. Good friends with Bob. He'll be able to answer the question. Okay. On the main stage, the teachers lip sync for their lives. Later, Anitra is named the winner of the challenge, while Lux Noir London and Lucy Laduka are placed in the bottom two, forcing them to battle it out in a lip sync for their lives. The song, For the Girls by Haley Kiyoko. In the end, Lux is told Shantae, you stay, while Lucy is asked to sashay away. Ladies, any final thoughts on the episode? Tell me about this lip sync. Tell me about the main stage. Tell me about everything. I want to hear about it. Let's start with you, Nathan.
This Kaylee Cuoco, whoever she is, where does she get off being like, oh, yes, I was on Celebrity Drag Race? And I'm like, bitch, okay, some people watched it, not a lot. And the people who did watch it probably don't remember who you are. I was like, who is this? Who is this Kaylee Cuoco? But at least she didn't sing along to her own lip sync song, so I give her points for that.
I thought she was a blonde girl from the show about the nerds.
The Big Bang Theory girl.
Isn't she the girl with the nerds? the nerdy guys and the blonde girl? Isn't that her?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Taylor, step in here. You watch a lot of TV. What are we talking? Who is this person?
This show is not for nerds.
I don't know who she...
If you're a nerd, do not
I don't
to
make
this
this show for nerds. If you're a nerd...
Get out.
If you're a nerd, don't listen to the show. Here's what I make this show for. A fat fucking Mexican faggot who, for lunch today, he had greasy fried chicken from Albertsons because that's what was available. And then for breakfast, he did have overnight oats. But then he washed it down with a sausage McMuffin and a hash brown and a Diet Coke. And then went to Starbucks and got a grande cold brew, extra oat milk, 2 Splenda shaken. That's who this show is meant for. Thank you. Taylor, weigh in.
I'm trying to find the correct spelling of her name, and I can't. Haley Kiyoko is her name.
Okay.
Not Cuoco. Cuoco, however you say it.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Kaylee.
Guys,
That's Kaylee Cuoco, and
wait.
this is Haley Kiyoko.
Taylor, I cannot get into this. I cannot get for reasons you and I both know. I can't get into this. I think I can get into this. And if Taylor, because this is being recorded, this is not live. If this bothers you, I'll just take it out. Taylor and I were talking about two different people. Okay? One of them was a woman named Donna. Okay? And then there was another person named Donna, right? One spelled Donna and one spelled Dawna. And we're talking, this is years ago, and I've never been able to talk about this. This is years ago that this happened. And I say, well, Donna this and Donna that. And then Taylor goes, who are you talking about? And I go, Donna. He goes, well, that's not her. And I go, yes. He's like, no, that's Donna. There's Donna and there's Donna. They're two different words.
Say it like Donna.
There's two different words. They're not even close. I'm like, no, one is Donna, one is
No,
they're both Donna.
One is Donna, the other is Donna.
Oh.
Don, D-O-N, Dawn, D-A-W-N.
No, here in the
They're
West
different.
Coast. No, in the West Coast, they're both said the same way. You say dawn, and then when the sun rises in the morning, that's dawn.
Right. You said Don and Dawn.
No,
You just
I
said
did not. It's dawn and dawn. No, he goes, but the point is, Nathan, he goes, I don't know who you're talking about. And I go, what do you mean? I go, I'm talking about Donna. Oh, no, you mean Donna. And
That's
I go,
what French
no.
people are like when you speak French to them in
Oh,
Paris.
really?
And you're like, oh, bonjour. And they're like, what? And you say bonjour, and they go, ah, bonjour. And you're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
You knew what I said.
Yeah. Well, I think, well, people, look at his name. Taylor the Latte Boy.
oui, oui.
Yeah. Anyway. Any other thoughts, any other thoughts? Wait, who went first? Nathan, Taylor, did you go?
No, I haven't gone yet.
Okay, go ahead, Taylor.
I thought the lip sync was messy. I did not, for somebody, if we get something that says, bitch, we're getting ready to see a show, when Mistress says that to Anitra, it was a lot of flailing around on Lux's part, a lot of standing in front of Lucy, which I think should be an immediate elimination for any time any queen has done that. It's not good sportsmanship. And it wasn't fun to watch. It was actually kind of uncomfortable to watch. The only other thing is, for the coming next week, they made the announcement of, and one of you will not be going to the finale. And I looked at my husband and went, that's not true.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna have all four of them go.
Yeah, I think so.
Nathan, you said everything you have to say?
One more thing. So Ru, before they do their lip sync, he says, I dedicate this performance to teachers everywhere. And I was like, can you dedicate the performance that someone else is performing? I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah.
You can? Oh, well, good for them.
She can do whatever she wants.
I thought
She's
it was fun to
RuPaul.
see them lip sync. I thought, okay, with the lip sync, I agree with you, Taylor. It was pretty shit. When I said fun to see them lip sync, I meant the teachers. The drag queens, not so great.
Right.
That cartwheel that Lucy did was deplorable. I don't know what she was trying there. And I have mixed emotions.
Can you do a cartwheel, Nathan? Can
No,
you do a cartwheel?
I cannot. Can you?
Taylor?
No.
I'm gonna try.
Do it right now.
I'm gonna try.
Oh, God.
I,
this is
again,
famous
don't
last
have
words.
pants on, so
I
I'm
was
not
trying to
good.
game it out. I'm like, there's no way I'm able to do this. There's no way I'm able to do this and not go to the hospital. I was literally like, how would I do this? I was literally like, you couldn't see that. I was sitting going like, how would I literally do this and either not knock the Castle Grayskull off, or like the house comes down like the fucking Big Bad Wolf or something like that, right? Like, how do I do it? I couldn't figure
You'll
out. a way
end
to
up
do
like
it.
your old roommate with blood all over your face.
Yeah.
Right. This would be the scene in the movie in which we would see his legs and hear the whoa, and it would immediately cut to your parents down in the dining room reading the paper, and they just kind of watch the dust come off of the ceiling fan, and they just look at each other and go back to reading the paper.
Oh, I thought it would be that I fall on the dining room table, And like my dad's covered in dust, glasses, wipes him off his glasses, and he has like a turkey. And I'm like, am I late for dinner? You know, I say
You walked in with the arm casts like Lux last week.
Yeah. Right. And then I do that emo thing where all my friends sign it. There are some notes I forgot to give. One is the lip sync lesson. I had a couple notes here. Lucy giving lip sync. She's like, let me tell you how lip sync works. I'm really good at this. I'm like, this bitch does not realize she's horrible at lip syncing. She's not good. She's just gone up against people who, A, had to go home or were worse. The other thing, too, is Anitra starts teaching whoever hers is to duck walk. I'm like, Aja right now is sticking a pen in her eye. Aja is literally dying right now. And I know this is whole thing about appropriation and whatnot, but I have bad news for the ballroom scene, which is I think Anitra now owns the duck walk, no matter what you think about it. It reminds me of a story of Richard Pryor was about to go on, like, I think he's going to film one of his comedy movies. Like, he used to do these big stand-up comedy films. And he was about to go on, or he was going to film it, it was going to be on TV, I don't remember what it was. And somebody went up to him and said, hey, this comic says you stole, that this joke you do is his. And he goes, not anymore, and went up on stage and did it. And that joke belonged to Richard Pryor. And I think that's sort of the position we are in now with Anitra and this duck walk. Those are pretty much all the notes I have. Have you said all your notes, Nathan, just to be extra sure?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I have mixed emotions about Lucy going. Like, I'm super glad she got kicked out. But also, knowing that next week is a Blame It on the Edit song, I thought that would have been really ironic to have her involvement on a Blame It on the Edit song. So, rest in peace, Lucy Laduka.
Taylor?
No, I've said everything I need to say.
Oh, someone's pissed. I am in so much trouble. I think it's about this Donna thing.
No, you're not. I'm fading fast. That's why I'm just sort of like, wrap it up.
You know what? I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this, motherfucker, during All Stars. When I'm like, okay, is there anything else? And you're like, did we talk about the history of voguing? And I'm like, oh, help. Right? Okay. All right, well, why don't we call it a day there? That's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week and every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. So for Taylor the Latte Boy, Nathan Patrick Brown, and myself...
Witty catchphrase, know what I mean?
Hey, thanks for watching this clip from the latest episode of Drag Race Recap. Watch more clips and entire episodes on our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button to find out every time we post a new video. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to listen to the entire podcast, look up Drag Race Recap on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts.